Oh my God! Godzilla! I have a good idea. Oh my God, Godzilla! Godzilla, King of the Monsters is a new movie directed by Michael Dougherty, and this film stars Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga, Millie Brown from Stranger Things, and Ken Want to Be. And this is a sequel to the 2014 Godzilla. And there is also a universe we have in place because this is the third film inside this monsterverse. The first film being Godzilla, and the second film being Skull Island that came out in 2017. And this movie is continuing on those stories that we saw in those two movies. And this movie right here is all about scientists are trying to bring balance to the world by unlocking a way to bring Titans back onto our Earth. Apparently, this 2014 movie that we got here, I had a few complaints with the movie. My main complaint with the movie was we didn't get a lot of Godzilla. Overall, structurally, 2014 movie is a far superior film than this film, but the thing they did get right in this movie was the action sequences revolving around Godzilla. If you're walking in this movie wanting a destructive force of four monsters colliding for the title of king, then you will be satisfied. You will like this movie to the core because Godzilla kicks so much ass. There is so many action sequences revolving around monsters. It's just nothing but monsters, mayhem, and destructive porn that you will admire and gush over. It's like a plethora of beautiful shots throughout this movie. You feel the scope, this giant spectacle when two giant forces collide. You will love this movie when it comes with the action sequences. Outside of that, it has some very beautiful shots, beautiful framework, the stuff you can put on a poster, you know. It has all that. And after leaving this movie, I was thinking to myself, what had better character development? This movie or Skull Island? Those of you who've been watching my channel, you know that the main thing I always care for is its characters. But for this film, this is kind of a reverse effect. The only thing great about this movie is its monster action sequences. And I have a huge problem with it. And some other performances do come off a bit disappointing. Millie Brown's performance wasn't all that spectacular, and Vera Farmiga's performance wasn't all that spectacular. The performances, they were just decent, but they weren't they weren't at a level that they should be. It just felt like they were there for a paycheck because they didn't have much emotion with their performances. So the writing revolving around their characters doesn't really have a compelling story. So when these actors are performing their roles and having these emotional scenes in this movie, because there are some emotional scenes in this movie, I didn't feel no emotional connection with any of the characters. The only thing that was in my mind was, get back to the monster fight. And when the film transitions and spends time on these characters, that's when the movie becomes boring. It's like they didn't really care for the character development and focus more on the monsters. What they should have did was take the groundwork and perfect it. Not just take the groundwork and just rock with the thing they only want most. If they leveled the playing field of the action sequences with compelling stories revolving around human characters, then this movie would have been twice as better. Issue I have with this movie is contains a whole bunch of exposition after exposition. Character in this movie always got to explain certain part of their life through exposition, and sometimes they try to use exposition as a source of its character development, but exposition is not character development, guys. Who wrote this movie? There is times where characters have to overanalyze and over-explain its own universe and explain how events have to happen. And also, they even have screens and pictures available that appears on screen and to correspond whatever they're saying at the exact moment while they're saying it. And I'm just like, who? What? I felt like the writers thought that the audience was dumb on a second grade level. That was their only reason to expand their monsterverse in this film. And I have a small problem with it. But overall, I still had a good time with this film. This film is still a good popcorn flick that you and your family will enjoy. I definitely enjoyed myself. But as for some of the characters and writing, I just didn't really care for. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you going into this film wanting a monster fight, you will be satisfied. If you going into this movie wanting character development or wanting compelling characters because it has an astonishing cast in this movie, you will be disappointed. But I guarantee you, you will have a good time with this movie despite some of its flaws. Also, this film definitely builds up towards the fight between King Kong and Godzilla, and you will be excited for that. So I'm going to give Godzilla King of Monsters a Michael Keaton Batman. This is an average but a very fun film. You will have a good time and you will get your money's worth. So go see Godzilla and you will get your money's worth. I just said that. So yeah. So look, guys, that's my review of Godzilla. And if you like everything you see and you agree, subscribe to my channel and join me in the Batman family. I'll have more Batman-tastic reviews in a way. You have been warned, and I will have a review of Aladdin. I will have a very late review of Aladdin right after my reviews of Ma and Rocket Man, hopefully. If things change within my schedule, I will let you know. But you have been warned. Till then, ciao.